I tell you, I fell in love as soon as I saw this. I believe the first time I saw it was on Instagram, and multiple of the girls sent it to me, and we're literally currently on the fourth, and I've already done this set 3 times. So I, of course, was like, let me teach you guys, because as I have done it now 3 times, I have found what works the quickest to get through this set, because it looks super simple in the sense that it's like a little background Frenchie, kind of double Frenchie, because it has 2 negative space, one on the top and one on the bottom. And then it's like, oh, the little green thing, you know, the little leaves, and then little diamonds. Like, how hard could it be? Yeah, it takes over an hour. It literally took 30 minutes on each side. And that's that I've done this set already 3 times. So I wanted to share the quickest way that I have found to do this. This was a press set, so I'm just going ahead and putting in, I believe we used the nude Unspoken Feel or Burnt Blush. I'm gonna confirm. Okay, I just went and looked. It's Burnt Blush is the nude that we decided to go with, and we did do 2 layers because the viscosity of this is very light. And yeah, so we just went in with this color. That's the one that mimics the photo the most. And the product is A-Press. I forgot to mention this is an A-Press gel color in their Shadow and Light collection. Now getting into the design. This is, I feel like low-key kind of like not the main star of the show, but she has a big deal to do with the background. And if you haven't done French or you're not familiarized, if you're not good at French, it is going to be a little more harder to learn how to work the brush. I would highly recommend to use a long bristle brush like this liner brush. It's long bristled, and basically what that does, as you're drawing, because your hand naturally shakes, it's not gonna move, you know, past those little shaky wiggles to the bristles, because it starts losing, in a sense, like not the momentum, but like, you know, the energy per se. And so just using the long bristle brush is definitely going to help get more crispier lines. So here you can see I'm doing an extremely high French. And you also, at least with A-Press, you want to be cautious because, you know, you also have where the nail and the A-Press meet the extension. So I feel like going right above that was like a sweet spot. And then I went ahead and grabbed a dome brush, and I literally just wiped right in the center. And this is where you're going to want to see how thick you're going to want that band in the center to be. So here I'm just deciding how thick. Once I'm more or less at the thickness, I'm taking an angled brush. I absolutely love this brush. I have not found any other one like it. And because it is so short bristled, it's very good to like clean. And you add some pressure and you can actually see exactly where all the hairs are cleaning. And that's why you can see that it leaves such a nice like crispy line. I am just going in and detailing the little smile line. If there's anything that I want to make more rounder, open up a little bit, close a little bit. I feel it might be a little easier, just like right now, to close. So if you do take out a little too much, that's perfectly fine. You go back in with that liner and you reverse the smile line. And that took about, I want to say like 2 to 3 minutes per finger. And obviously some are going to be a little quicker than others. So keeping that in mind, please charge your worth while I am here. Because one thing for sure, if you are designing and drawing and making art on your hands or on these small tiny canvases, please reinsure you are charging for this. I do about $8 per finger, especially since on top of this is just the background. And then on top of that, you still have to go back in and do the little leaves. And then on top of that, you have to do a third layer and put in 3 diamonds. So I did $8 per finger, putting you at an additional $80 on top of whatever you charge for your A-Press. So let's go back into the design. I just wanted to throw that in there just because I feel like a lot of nail techs, we love our jobs. We find it so fun. And then we get like the guilty, like, oh my God, she was so nice. And it's like, this is still has to be a profitable business. So because of that, even though you had fun, even though it's so cute, we're so excited to post it. We're happy that they chose us. They trusted our artists to do it and make it happen. Please charge your worth. And especially product time, it's a lot. Okay, so now back to this. I feel like this is the most kind of challenging part as long as you still have the French down. So I just go ahead and with that dome brush and swipe the middle a couple times. It does not have to be perfectly clean just yet, because once you go in with that additional brush with the more precise bristles is really what's going to clean it up. And with the angle brush, I feel I used to do makeup, so it's like I'm pretty used to cleaning up things with angle brush. Obviously use whatever feels the most comfortable to you. If you feel like the bristles on your dome brush is very precise and very crisp, then you can stay with that. But I did really appreciate that second brush to go in and like really crisp things up. And then again, if necessary, go back in and line or fix anything that has to be tweaked. You also want to reassure that the consistency of the white is as consistent as it possibly could be. I'm using A-Press in their French collection. I personally love this one. I am running pretty low on it. That's why it's a little, I mean, it's pretty consistent here because I'm going over it, but I feel like keeping that as a full bottle would probably be best to the best of my interest, because it would make it a lot easier. I wouldn't have to go back in to, reassure it's nice and consistent. Another tip, which I'm kind of cropping it out because realistically, I don't want to make this video too long of you just watching me like go back and, fix and tailor everything, but making sure you step back a little bit, because sometimes we tend to overthink a lot of things, or your eye won't catch something because you're so close that it looks like such a big deal, that when you step back and look away from it for a little bit, and then you can recenter your eyes and focus, it will do you justice. Like sometimes you're like, oh my God, it looks completely off. And then you kind of like step back and you're like, oh, actually, no, it's just like this one little corner of this little smile line right here. And I also like to turn my clients' hands towards me. So instead of with the wrists down looking at me, I like to turn their wrists up, so their fingertips up to the ceiling, and that way I can look at it from their perspective, their point of view, as they say. And that also, you can see what they're looking at. So personally, I love to ask my clients, like, get them to, is this okay? That looks good. I'm like, is that centered? And they'll confirm, like, yeah, that's perfect. And you could do that as well if you don't want to actually turn it around and put the fingers up to the sky, and you can check just to reassure that everything is looking good from both angles. So from their angle, your angle, and especially when you step away. My absolutely favorite glue ever since I've introduced this glue, I have not gone back. I used to absolutely love Bondini, and she's still that girl on acrylic. But as far as obviously everyone gets gel, it's like this glue is, I know she's gonna do her job. So highly recommend the glue on here. And then I did show you the color of A-Press that we're using to do the little mistletoe little leaves. So what I did was I did a dot, and then I just did 3 little lines, one up, one down, one to the side, whichever one of your choice, left or right. And then I kind of made sure that my brush didn't have too much product, so no bulk of product in the tip. And then I just flickered out. And that's how I got like the little spikes onto the branch. Another tip is going to be to put your wrist towards that side. So if you're working on the right side of the branch of the little spikes, then you're going to want to put your wrist towards that side, so then you can flick out. As you saw at one point, I had kind of like an overhand grip, and that helps me. There I go, in the overhand grip, and that's going to kind of help me flick outwards, so it's in a more natural way. So the branches, you could spike them out to the easiest of your capacity. So that's what it looks like. She looks a little crazy at first, but once you put those diamonds on, girl, it is so beautiful. At first, I was like, especially the first time I did it, I was like, I don't know. And I know how to do palm trees, and the palm trees be looking the same. I'm like, okay, this looks a little questionable. But then once you put that top coat, and you're like, wow, I did that. I'm an artiste. So that's how I was feeling once I put these diamonds on. I was like, wow, ate that up. Let's do it again and again and again times 10 because gorgeous. I just noticed I forgot to mention what I'm cleaning the product with when I was doing the white Frenches was Swipe, which is a cleanser from Young Nails. It's like a blue bottle. I totally forgot to show what that looks like, but that's what I've been cleaning the French with and creating that negative space. It just cleans everything, makes sure there's no oils. I also use that before I apply my base coat or anything or the dehydrator. So definitely buy some Swipe. Highly recommend. But all of this, I am just zooming through because it's extremely repetitive. As you see, I like to use my glove as a little palette. And once you pop on those little rhinestones, I like to put top coat first, and then I'll go in with that glue, put a little bit on it, and I cure in between each and every step before I go on to the next one, just so the diamonds don't slide. Everything stays right there. You just have to hold it for a couple seconds, maybe like 10 seconds or so or less, which is, again, this set is so beautiful, but it is very tedious. And then after I finish with the little 10-second cure, I like to have them go into the light for a full minute. And that's what's really going to seal the deal. So that's basically it. This is kind of like a farther point of view of what everything looked like. But that's it for today's video. If you found this helpful, if you've liked any of the tips and tricks, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what else you guys want to learn, what type of videos you guys are looking for education purposes. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.